So I thought I would showcase my Star Rail account now that we are at the end of patch 1.0. As you can see on the screen, we only have the standard banner up as I have recorded this in the last hour of patch 1.0. On the standard banner, I have done 129 pulls so far, all using free tickets. And I've only gotten one 5-star, which was Himiko at 81 pulls. I'm no longer free to play as of June 1st since I bought the Express Supply Pass solely so I could farm more. The pass allows you to refresh your Trailblaze power once a day for 54 days using just the Stellar Jades, and 60 days if you also use the 300 shards that come in the pass. So basically, I've been refreshing on average once a day since Trailblaze level 50 just so I can build more characters. And speaking of characters, let's go through them now. On screen you can see all the characters I've built. Everyone above level 60 is a main character for me, meaning I'm focusing on them, and everyone 60 and under was me trying the character and possibly realizing I don't like them that much. Fire MC is a recent addition to my main squad, as up until a couple weeks ago I was still using physical MC. But then I pulled Himiko and I started using Asta, so a mono fire team was calling me. I run Lando's Choice on Fire MC so I don't have to rely on the taunt as often, and can use MC more as a skill point generator. Traces are pretty good and I have 4 Eidolons on them as I don't have enough of the stuff to purchase number 5. Welt is my first 5-star and a unit I didn't want but fell in love with. His light cone is Resolution shines as Pearls of Sweat at Superimposition 3. Being able to apply the defense down along with slowing the enemy is super strong for a support character. I want to move Welt more over to the damage side and less supporty, but that is a long term goal. Traces are pretty high for his level and no Eidolons. Himiko is my next and only other 5-star character, and she was my favourite during the beta, but has somehow been passed by another character I will show down the line. Either ways, I've invested a lot into making her strong as my only other 5-star and one of my favourites. First thing I did is pull for Jing's light cone just for her, and I have a video of that on the channel, but you will notice it is at Superimposition 2. This is because I went doing some single pulls hoping to get some duplicates of the 4-star cones that was on the banner, and I somehow lucked sat getting a second copy at 19 pity. Now I know I should have kept the 2 separate copies and used them on 2 different erudition characters, but like I said, I'm all in on Himiko so I did it for her. Traces are my highest of any character, and I've already started farming to make sure I can get most of the new ones when I hit the next equilibrium level. She also has no Eidolons. March is one of my favourite characters from the beginning of the game. I just love her attitude and the character as a whole. I've also invested into her this much because my dream 5-star used to be Svarog, and they have the best synergy together, but alas, Svarog has abandoned me. My March is still nice though. I recently swapped her over to her own light cone as I used to run her on Lando's Choice, but that is much better suited for my fire team now, so the swap was made. I also got multiple copies from Jing's banner so it is at Superimposition 3. Her traces are solid, and even though I activated a lot of unnecessary ones, OCD tendencies wouldn't let me leave them blank, a trend you will notice. She is at Eidolon too. QQ is one of my next damage dealers and the start of a second trend. All of my main damage dealers are erudition characters as for some reason they have my favourite designs. She is running the Seriousness of Breakfast at Superimposition 4. Traces are leveled well and I have 0 Eidolons for her. Serval is my next main damage dealer and she was a unit I loved in the beginning, but not as much these days. And the reason is because I've come to enjoy new favourites. The reason I haven't dropped her though is because she is my lightning DPS and I knew I wasn't going to pull Jing. She is still using her signature light cone, traces are well leveled, and she is at Eidolon too. Natasha is a unit I have avoided using for a very long time, but then she turned out to be the perfect fit for my mono fire team. She counts as fire because she is hot. The reason I have avoided using her for so long though is because her face just has her looking like she is so tired, which is lore accurate as she does run a hospital and is the leader of a resistance group. It just bothered me so much that I didn't want to use her and just let her rest. Anyways, I built the mono fire team and pulled her off the bench. Her light cone is just one I had at the time, but I'll change it to a better one later once I have the resources ready. Her traces are solid for her level and I have her at E4, even though I only did like 20 pulls on Sealer. And now we arrive to my new favourite character, Asta. The only reason I began to use her was to make Himiko stronger, but as I started to use her more and more, I began to have fun with her as I didn't realize how strong she actually was, especially when supporting a fire team. Even as a support though, I find her a joy to play and hence she is my new favorite character at the moment. I got her signature light cone from the Jing weapon banner, and I have it at Superimposed Tree. I was pulling specifically for dupes of this and March's light cone when I got the second copy of Before Dawn. Anyways, this light cone is what makes my fire team a fire team, and makes me love Asta even more. Her traces, like everyone else, are well leveled and her eidolons are E2. Sampo is a character I was using for a while since I was interested in dot teams, but the problem is, I really didn't like Sampo as a character, so I was forced using him. It also turns out that dots kind of sucked, at least for me, so after a while I ended up not using him as I wasn't enjoying him that much, and you should never force play a character you don't enjoy. I do love the idea of his kick and his skill especially, but I love all bounce skills. Pella is similar to Sampo in that I forced myself to build her. My current characters lack ice, physical and wind, so I built Pella up to help me get through the memory of chaos. While she has helped, I really don't like her that much, so this is the end of the line for her. The light cone I have on her, which is Fermata, while you would think it is best for Sampo or Kafka, is actually quite good on her, especially if you run her with said Sampo, Kafka or Serval. She can make good use of it even if it is better on them. Tingyun is another character I don't like but gave her a try because I have her at E4, and I had her at E3 even before the Jing banner cause the game kept giving her to me. She is very strong but also very boring, so I don't use her. Dan is a character I am undecided on. I find his gameplay boring but I like him as a member of the original tree. I may end up building him to fill in my wind weakness. I was thinking I would pull for Blade but I really don't know. I may do a few pulls on Silverwolf tonight to see if I get Asta dupes, and if I end up with more Dan dupes, I'll start building him up. Hook is a character I like and started, but then I pulled Himiko, so I ended up benching her. We'll return to her in the future. I don't really like the design of Herta, but I kind of want to use her with my Himiko for farming. That is something for the very far future though. Sushine I would love to use but I don't have her E1 and it's kind of stopping me. I'm going to have to choose between her and Dan as my next DPS. Just not sure which one I would pick. And finally Arlen. Because I was highly invested in Serval, I never really gave him a chance, but I do like him a lot. Might be a future build. Now let's take a quick look into my bag, and here you can see the server notice saying it is going down soon. I've got almost enough keys for Himiko for when I next ascend her, and then I plan to switch my focus to gold and experience buffs until I hit Trailblaze level 60. And here is a full overview of my light cones. I leveled way too many, but I'm a big fan of trying things myself. Finally, you can see that I've cleared all the available content, so I have no story quests. I've beaten all the available simulated universe, and I'm only missing 4 blessings that I'll find at some point. But I really don't like playing this mode more than I have to. Unlike a lot of people, I actually find it quite boring. And as for Memory of Chaos, I have gotten to stage 6 but only squeezed out 8 stars. And that's it for my account review. Let me know how yours is looking in the comments. Who is your favorite character? Mine is Asta. Until next time, my name is Kujets and you can expect more Star Rail videos in the future.